Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to take a common belief and flip it completely on its head. It's all based on this fascinating idea of the intellectual merit of strategic laziness. We're about to dive into 7 habits that on the surface look kind of lazy, but might actually be signs of a super sharp mind. So let's get into it and maybe redefine what lazy even means. I mean, this is the question, right? We're all taught from day one that laziness is the enemy of success, that it's something to be ashamed of. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's more to it?
So typically, when we think of laziness, our minds go straight to the stuff on the left. Apathy, just not caring, procrastination, a total lack of motivation. But what if, for some people, it's actually what's on the right? What if it's a sign of a mind that's wired for efficiency, that's brilliant at prioritizing, and that might just be a hallmark of high intelligence?
And that is the big idea we're exploring today. The possibility that what looks like laziness is actually a highly evolved strategy to conserve energy and get the biggest possible impact. This isn't just some abstract theory either. This kind of thinking actually shows up in 7 very specific, very real habits. So let's break them down one by one.
Okay, first up, habit number 1, you are absolutely ruthless with your priorities. Now, this isn't about trying to avoid work. It's about strategically avoiding the wrong work.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A truly sharp mind instinctively knows which tasks are just busy work. It calculates the return on investment for its own energy. And if a task has a low impact, a smart person is lazy enough to just let it go, saving all that focus for what really, truly counts.
And that flows right into our second habit, always being on the lookout for a shortcut. Now, I know that sounds like cutting corners, but it's actually something way smarter. You see, it's all about optimization, not just avoidance. Why would you take 10 steps to get somewhere if you can find a way to do it in 2? That powerful drive to find the most direct path, well, that's the very soul of innovation.
The third lazy habit is mastering the art of delegation. Now, a lot of people mistake this for just dumping your work on other people, but when you do it strategically, it's a brilliant move.
This is all about understanding your own unique value. By entrusting tasks to people who are perfectly capable of doing them, you're not just being lazy. You're being a CEO of your own mental bandwidth. You're directing your most precious asset, your brain power, to the problems that only you can solve. Habit number 4 builds right on top of that last one. It's all about embracing automation. You can almost think of it as the modern high-tech version of seeking shortcuts. I mean, think about it. Every single app on your phone that saves you a few clicks, every robot in a factory, all of it exists because some lazy person somewhere thought, there has to be a way to not do this over and over and over again. That impulse, it's what drives progress. Okay, now this next one is really interesting because it sounds so wrong at first. Habit number 5, procrastinating productively. But hold on, there is a huge difference between this and regular old procrastination.
So we're not talking about mindlessly scrolling through social media to avoid a deadline. No, this is about consciously putting a complex problem on the back burner, letting your brain work on it in the background. And what happens? A lot of the time, the most creative, elegant solution just pops into your head when you're not even trying.
Habit number 6 is also about managing your brain's resources. It's about consciously conserving your mental energy. It's treating your focus like it's a precious and finite resource. You know that feeling at the end of the day when you're just completely exhausted from making a million tiny, meaningless decisions? That's called decision fatigue. Well, a highly intelligent mind instinctively avoids that. They just don't get into pointless arguments or waste brain power on trivial choices. They're saving it for the big stuff.
And finally, we've arrived at what might just be the most powerful, lazy habit of them all. It's the simple act of asking a single 3-letter question before starting any task.
This really is the ultimate shortcut, isn't it? By simply asking, wait, why are we doing this? Or is this even necessary? You can eliminate whole streams of work before they even begin. That's not laziness. That is profound, next-level efficiency.
So when you put all of these habits together, what you get is this concept that we can call strategic laziness. It has nothing to do with inaction. It's a deliberate, conscious strategy to get the biggest results with the absolute minimum amount of wasted energy. And this isn't some random, chaotic approach. It's a clear process. First, you identify the real goal. Second, you question all the usual assumptions about how you're supposed to get there. And third, you find the most direct, elegant path to that goal. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. What we often label as laziness can actually be a highly intelligent way of managing your energy. It's the difference between just being busy and actually being effective. It's a commitment to impact over effort.
Which leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Looking back at these 7 habits, which of your so-called lazy traits are you starting to see in a new light? Which ones do you recognize in yourself? And how can you start to see them not as a flaw, but as a genuine strategic strength?